So now, as ma'am already told, the times have already changed when it was really, really difficult to imagine a woman in the entrepreneurial world, right? But now the time has come. We have seen many examples as told by Madam Dr. Manjeet Kaur, that there are various examples that where women have proved themselves that they should not be restricted to particular domains. But if we talk about our rural areas from decades till today, still we are facing the same issues. So seeing a woman entrepreneur in the entrepreneurial world is still a taboo in various parts of our country, that is India. So in order to have a great perspective that how is it still a taboo, or we have overcome it, or what are the measures we need to take to overcome this taboo, we are having our honorable speaker, Dr. Ravi Shankar CV, who is the principal head of ECEE from the Sambram Institute of Karnataka. We welcome you, sir. So we welcome you, sir. So I would like to hand over the stage to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon to everybody. I am Dr. Ravi Shankar CV from Bangalore, Karnataka. I think I am the odd man out in this, especially today's session, because all really three women professors really they have presented very nicely the woman entrepreneurship related things from their point of view. But I always actually looking into the male perspective, why it is actually happening like this, why it is going on like this. And still it is in my mind, this question, why it is still taboo for a woman to become entrepreneur. And we have to find out a solution from our point of view, that how to overcome this stigma. So this is my today's topic. I think all the participants here, they may find interesting. Many things actually already told by my earlier speakers. Lot of examples they have given a woman entrepreneurs details. Even so much actually they have already covered. So now actually I have to talk in a different way. So about this issue. Let me go about. Okay. See, actually, I have seen through all the literatures, all the earlier documents, etc. Now, woman in the world, woman has given lot of importance, and more than men. Actually, they have got lot of importance in the society earlier, in the prehistoric time, as well as just even up to many years, the thousands of years, actually the woman has got lot of priority and respect in the society. But later actually it is really come down with so many historical situations like Mughals rule, and then Rajput related issues, because that has got its own related historical reasons. And then Britishers came. See, all these things actually downgraded the woman importance of woman, especially in the society. So later, due to after independence, and especially today, I want to say all of you happy Independence Day to all of you. So after independence, slowly the change of got taken place, and in every sector, the woman is actually taking prominence and importance. A lot of time, actually, the education took a very important thing for the woman to improve themselves. And I don't know till date when I am having one problem finding out when I am speaking with normal women, as well as well educated, as well as well appointed in different high level posts also. They are telling we are equal to men. We want this is one thing I heard, we are equal to men. Okay, next point is there. Next point is we want our right. And third one is also very important. We got reservation. We want more reservation for women, all those things. Frankly speaking, friends, these three are not at all required, because you are already telling that you are equal to men. But one thing I will tell you, this woman itself, actually, you are showing one small, actually, I don't know whether it is right or not. Here, just I want to say, please actually read the word female, FEMALE. So one female, one lady is equal to 100 such men, because Fe is actually, very well in physics, chemistry and all, very well, Fe is iron. So male means what? Gents. So Iron Man is actually, one Iron Man is equal to one woman. That means to become one Iron Man, 100 such men is required. That means one female is actually equal to 100 men. That means actually you are already greater than those people. You have lost your importance. You have lost, actually, you don't know what your position is, what your situation is. Because of that, actually, you are always thinking this one. See here what I am telling. Want to become a homemaker, or want to become an entrepreneur, or want to become an employee, or just in non-serving sectors you want to perform. See, go to anywhere. See, always actually the human, this one tendency is there. The male chauvinistic society, yes, I will agree. See, well, let me take one example of food sector. In food sector, women are there. Yes, where? First important. See, for two people, three people, four people, or even five, six people to prepare, to cook the food, immediately everybody will look into, okay, wife or mother or sister or like. And those things are actually meant for house only. That means in kitchen only. That means it is not productive. Their mindset is like that. It is not productive. It does not generate money. But next level, if it is to be prepared for 100 people, 500 people, 1000 people, immediately the same that kitchen concept is turned towards the gents, because every such thing situations gents only handling. In house, actually, they are telling, okay, it is for ladies only. But once it turns into economic factor or financial matter, immediately male took that as a dominant factor. See, this is the situation you have to break. That means where money is there, they will always keeping the ladies out. Where money is prominent place, automatically gents are taking into interest and they will do whatever it is. See, this is the situation. You have to change it. Nobody will change it. Now let us look into whether a woman to become entrepreneur, why it is not possible till date equal to men or even more than men. Let us go through it. See, just observe this. Sometimes women entrepreneurs are their own challenge. In terms of believing in themselves, there is no need to apologize for being ambitious. See, this is very, very beautiful sentence. Actually, what I will always tell to my woman counterpart. See, actually, your main drawback and main challenge is you only. No male entrepreneur is challenge for you. Nothing is challenging for you. Only challenge is yourself only. You are having know that positive confidence in you. Somewhere at some point you will look towards the male part, so male counterpart. So because of that, actually you are having that apprehension that I will not be successful in entrepreneur as an entrepreneur. This is the major drawback. That means you have to find out your inner self. You have to find yourself inside yourself, and you have to exhibit that strength outside. That is very, very important in you. So in women, especially not only in India, throughout the world, this is the drawback. Always you are seeing towards or looking towards for the support for your husband or brother or father or like that only. See, that actually when you start avoiding it, automatically you will get more confidence. So they are very, very important facts for you. Lot of information I am having. This whole session actually I used to take for one day. Now I have to cover within 45 minutes. How much possible I will try my level best. More than 46% of private businesses in Ghana are women owned. Women own 36% of small businesses worldwide. See, that means we are women have not yet reached even 50% also. California, for example, has the highest proportion of women-owned firms in the US at 1.3 million. Texas has more than 860,000 women-owned firms. Women launch more than 1,200 new businesses every single day in the US. But what about India? See, this is the great problem and difference. What modern society and to become modern society, the difference is women-owned businesses generate around $1.9 trillion in revenue there. The growing rate of women-owned business is just 5% in the world. This is very, very serious problem. Uganda and Vietnam, see that small countries, Uganda and Vietnam are home to over 30% of women-owned companies. So why not actually this billion people India is going behind or still actually stagnant? There is no such improvement. In 2018, 2019, 2020, there is no such big improvement and development in women entrepreneurship cases. Well, let us explore all these things. Next, out of the 58.5 million entrepreneurs, see, very few are women only. Indian women-owned businesses provide employment for 13.45 million, 45 million people. So this is also a great. Those are all actually providing employment to the many people. And another astonishing thing is, out of this, almost 75% people are men only. Even in women entrepreneurship business, almost 75% employees are men only. This is the really a different picture which is coming out. About 1/3 of Indian women entrepreneurs work in the agriculture sector, which is followed by manufacturing and retail trade. See, lot of difference is still there. They have not jumped into latest technology part. Latest technology related jobs and that related profiles they have not yet gone into. In 2017, only 2% of startup funding went to a woman founder. See the difference actually why actually the society is making, the government is making indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly. This is the only problem. Only 2% of startup funding goes to the woman founder and remaining almost 98% goes to the men startup companies. The top 10 fund rises of 2017 added up to 8.5 billion. The top 10 fundraisers by a female-led startup accounted, see, imagine, only $136 million. See, that means actually this is all data from UN and other important surveys. And a 2025, 2015 study by McKinsey Global Institute shows India's GDP could rise by between 16 to 60% by 2025 if women participated equally with men in economy. This is the thing what they are projected. Almost we can get $2.9 trillion economy, we can build it. Robust economy if we build, if women are participated equally with men. See, these are the potential things what we have to, government has to, and the women of our today's India has to think about, especially younger generation. And I think this everybody knows that Radhika Agarwal of e-commerce marketplace Shop Clues made history as India's first female co-founder of $1 billion company. A recent report also shows only 2 Indian cities made it to the list of 50 most favorable global places for women to work. That is Bangalore in 40th and New Delhi in 49th place. See, imagine, so for women employees as well as women entrepreneurs, the supporting social facilities and society facilities has to be provided in all the cities. That is still it is actually not yet able to done in all the metropolitan cities of India. So these are all some major issues which are actually hindering the women entrepreneurs to flourish. And according to National Sample Survey, only 14% of the businesses in India are run by women entrepreneurs. See how much the women entrepreneurs are there in India. A lot of growth prospect is there. They have to confront, they have to think differently. They should leave all the hindrance what they are having. They should think in a different way of what they are thinking now. They should have a lot of the freedom and facilities provided by the government and other public companies or private companies. They have to take the benefit out of it, and they should come out. They should not sit in home or just doing some jobs like. The global disparity is evident in a report which says nearly 126 million women have their own business across the globe. But here, imagine in Indian women linger around the 8 million mark only. See how much big difference is there, India with respect to the world. And according to Indus Entrepreneurs report, 78% women from poorer families in India are keen to become entrepreneurs. But problem is they are not getting support. They are not getting support from the government. They are not getting support directly from their society and from their own family, husband, father, and brothers. Like, see, this is the situation. It has to be eased out by educating the men as well as women. See, well, educating women is very easy, friends, but educating men related to this type of issues is quite a hard nut. It has to come in a slow process. And as we know that many men are supporting their woman. For every successful man, there is a woman behind, but the story has to be turned out. For every successful woman, there should be a man beside, not behind or like that. Beside, actually, we have to stand beside them and we have to support them. So let them achieve their dream. So this is very, very important. What I want to state here. 30% of India's tech workforce and 51% of entry-level jobs in India's IT and BPM industries are women, which indicate that women are living at junior and mid levels only. That is very, very serious. Top positions, actually, females are very less. About 58% of the female entrepreneurs were in the age range of 20 to 30 when they started out. So that means actually even at an earlier stage, they have to start working on it. Nearly 73% of them report a revenue of approximately 10 lakhs in a financial year. So this has to be increased further. Almost 57% of these women started out solo. That means actually without any support, they have started, and without any other member. But another thing is also there. About 35% of the women who had a co-founder along with them. That means actually individually they are not able to achieve. They are having co-founder, maybe another female or maybe their family members or friends, and definitely they are male members. And roughly 71% of the Indian female entrepreneurs employ 5 people or less. See, this is the situation now. That means they are all very small entrepreneurs. So it has to become very big. So they want funds and other supports. And definitely in that direction, government has to provide them without any bias. In terms of power and decision making, women held only 28% of managerial positions globally in 2019. And see, only 18% of enterprises surveyed had a female chief executive officer. See, that means they are not part of the decision-making bodies. Very less people are there in the top level. Among Fortune 500 corporations, only 7.4%. That means only 37 CEOs are there, the women CEOs are there, and all other are male bosses. In political life also, women's representation in parliament is, maybe it is doubled, but it is still not crossed 25%. Because if the women are actually crossed barrier of this 25% and above or even 50% and above, they can sit as a decision makers. They can actually help and support all the women entrepreneurs. So that's why I am strongly suggesting women along with the entrepreneurship, they have to jump into the politics and let them grab very good and top positions, and let them be in the decision making stage so that they can support their woman counterpart. Women's representing among cabinet ministers has quadrupled over last 25 years, but still below parity at 22% against the male counterpart. So this has to be overcome. And problem faced by women entrepreneurs. See, many of these things actually already discussed by our previous speaker. Thank you very much, madam. You have explained very nicely. all these things. And especially I am telling you, along with this, so many other problems are there. Even I have come across many such examples, like if the woman employee, if the woman entrepreneur wants to take bank loan and all, automatically they will question her in different ways. They will tell, okay, we will give the loan, but if you get married, what happens to your company? Correct. So because you will take more interest on your family, and you will not see the business. If business fails, what we will do? Correct. See, that type of question, if they ask, what we can say? See, that type of issues, the women entrepreneurs will come up, and how they will face it. And then actually widows, many widows actually, they wanted to do their business, entrepreneurship. They wanted to. But in India, in their family only, or even in banks and all, actually the seeing them in a different way they are seeing. Correct. And collateral security, that one actually they are demanding. Collateral security things they have to. And automatically legal issues will come. The family members, they are not ready to give the collateral security for the girl child or their daughter and all, because her brothers, they will oppose, even parents, they will oppose. If something happens to parents, dividing of the property, all those things, so how can we give? See, irrespective of today's legal issues and all, this type of things are cropping up, and it will actually deny the importance towards women entrepreneurs and supporting women entrepreneurs. This and all, actually, from my point of view or from male point of view, actually, I am finding out. I think a lot of such ideas actually you can also come up. This thing I will not explain much. Already many things are explained by my other speakers. Next, challenges are many. Actually, what happens? A normal tendency is women will not take that very seriously. That profession, because the psychological study, it has seen the woman will best worked as employees, but not best worked as entrepreneurs. This is one thing that one taboo is already there in the mindset of both men and women. They can become a good employees, but they cannot become good employers, or they cannot become good this one entrepreneurs. See, that still it is in their mind, but it has to go out. They're letting fear stand in the way. Always, actually, it is one mindset is there. They will always fear. They are not taking anything as challenging. They are not taking harsh decisions. All such things are thrown towards a woman entrepreneur. But frankly speaking, they are not like that. They are also so much, they have also exhibited shrewdness in taking decisions in the business decisions and activities. But in general, this is also one challenge they have to face, and wanting to please everyone. This is one thing actually, it is observed and spoken by everybody. They wanted to please everyone. Correct. Even the customer, even the client, even the supplier, even their employees, bankers, for everybody, they wanted to please everyone. They wanted to be very very pleasing type. So that is not worked out in the entrepreneurship or business life. This is the one mindset actually people are talking. But I found some many women entrepreneurs, they are very good in taking decisions, whether it may be harsh or it may be strict or it may be a strong decision they have taken. But in general, actually, this is also is there. So this is a challenge for the women entrepreneurs. And wearing too many hats, that means it is actually, it's a common. Even the society is actually making the woman to take so many multiple this one responsibilities. They will tell, okay, you may be an entrepreneur there, you may be an employee outside, but as a woman, actually, you have to act as a mother, act as a wife. Correct. All such responsibilities actually will be there for her. Because of this too many jargons, actually her main concentration on entrepreneurship and business related will go, will this one reduce it and slows down in the days to come. So that actually they have to take care. This is a great challenge for anybody, because human tendency is like that. End of the day, whatever may be the career, whatever may be the profession, for the ladies, family is very important. like that actually they are this one just like since from many years actually it is inborn mindset actually they have created in the woman. So this has to be overcome. Both men and women has to take that responsibilities, has to share that responsibilities and to reach their dreams. And what and all suggestions, even is a few suggestions already given by our earlier speakers also. So government has to provide some finance cells. So through that, actually, they have to support various financial supports for the women entrepreneurs exclusively, and training facilities has to be given, and depend on the sectors, depend on the type of businesses, different training facilities has to be given, having plan of action and blueprint. This is very important. Women are actually has to just like their main male counterpart, they have to have all the action plans, blueprint of their business complete. Actually they should have, they have to project their total plan for next 5 years, next 10 years, next 15 years. So like that, they should have a prepared planned action. So definitely they will be succeeded. And team building, this is very important. So they have to build a separate team, trusted team. They have to build irrespective of male or female. Their team should be good. And relationship building, that is very important. I think this is very easy for the woman entrepreneur to handle very good relationship with their employees, customers, and clients. And marketing cooperatives. So for selling their product or such activities, actually government has to support them with the marketing cooperative facilities. Enterprising services also is very important, and hiding cash flow status. This is actually some very important issue for women entrepreneurs. She has to balance all the cash flow status, not spurging, and not just money comes means they will start acquiring other properties and all, but unwanted investments, all those things actually they have to taken care of. Next, getting too close with employees. This is one we found woman psychology related. So they will become, because they are very what we can say, very generous in their mindset and heart. So they will just accept and listen to their employees, but always actually it is not good. They should be always somewhat straightforward, and they should be strict with the employees also, because they have to get the work done. That is also very important. Supply of raw materials, they have to taken care of these things, because many times they will depend on some people, and the trust is very important. At the same time, they have to be very serious about raw materials purchase, or even a selection of raw materials, and the checking, quality checking, all those things they have to verify. They cannot depend on anybody. Next, awareness programs is very important. Regular awareness program they have to attend. Government has to provide all these things for women entrepreneurs with various cells and organizations, so that they will come to know what and all new products are coming, what and all new business strategies are planning, how other businesses are growing. All the things they will abreast with the technology. Automatically, it will be very helpful for the women entrepreneurs. Next, from government, lot of schemes are available. What best actually you can say is Annapurna scheme, Bharatiya Mahila Bank Business Loan, Mudra Yojana scheme, and so many such Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, Udyogini scheme. So much is there. Correct. They can utilize all these schemes, and so many actually. A lot of things I can say, especially related to COVID case situations and all. I think. Time is very short. I cannot explain in detail about all these things. Uh, and a lot of surveys actually I have come across. They have gone to in-depth analysis of the women entrepreneurs. According to World Bank, doubling the percentage of women in the workforce would boost India's growth rate from 7.5 to 9%, and raise the country's GDP to US $700 billion by 2025. This is a great analysis, and if we looked into this and if we try to implement, definitely a lot of changes will happen in India. So the what I want to say is, woman, maybe the society has got the taboo, but you should not worry about that. Oh, who is there to overcome that? You, the people. You should have confidence in you that nothing will challenge you. You have to challenge the problems. You have to take the challenge with the hard situations. Definitely you will rise to the situation. So I think women will take any type of challenges, whatever situations, they will take it. And after taking that, there is so many women entrepreneurs are there, especially looked into India. We are having Aditi Gupta, Anisha Singh, Shraddha Sharma, Upasana Taku, Neeru Sharma, Sugandha, Malika Sadani, Mansi Gupta. So many people are there. I have listed here very few. And better friends, all of you, please, this yourstory.com. Please go and visit this yourstory.com. So here, this is very, very beautiful website for you. In this, actually, you will find out so many entrepreneurs, male and female entrepreneurs. What happened there at the initial stages, how they become successful. All such their success stories are there. I am definitely recommending you Shraddha Sharma from Bangalore. So she has started this yourstory.com one website. She is minting millions of rupees from that website portal. So I request all of you just visit yourstory.com, and maybe you will get motivated with one or the other true story, life stories of successful businessmen and businesswomen. So many people are there who will who succeeded with their innovative ideas and knowledges. And this is the distribution of enterprises in India with the different micro and small industry, medium and total industry that women levels. See, it is actually in the financial 2021, so it is showing share of MSME is only 20.44% and 5.26%, 2.67% and 20.37% total. So this is the woman enterprises involved in financial 2021. And this is the world female entrepreneurship statistics for you. UAE is 12.6%, India 12.7%, US 16.6%, and even that small countries like Chile and Angola, they are having 40.7% and 32.4%. This is 16.6% of adult female population in US are engaged in entrepreneurship. See, this type of change has to come to India. So this is actually another issue. MSMEs in India is total MSME is 58.2 million. Out of that, woman owned is only 13.76%. That is 8.05 million. Very, very pathetic situation. So it has to overcome. At least it has to be reached to some 50%. In the small, medium, and micro industries, the percentage of women is this much. So it is a really heart-touching situation. Another 5 to 10 years, it has to be become at least 50%. Then only there is a tendency of equal representation of women in business. And how actually the proportion of women-owned enterprises by geography and the proprietary enterprises is actually here. For manufacturing 45%, trading 8.7%, other services 7.4% woman involvement, and rural enterprise it's the biggest one 22.2%, and rural proprietary 21.2%, urban 18.4%. See, this is the situation of women in India, especially about woman-owned enterprises. And these are the popular surveys what actually they are projecting India's growth in entrepreneurship and startup companies. Like, I think lot of scope is there for women. Okay, so these are all very, very important things. Lot of companies are earning money. Lot of companies are venturing into that business, and they are making lot of money. But here the projected female representation is very, very less. And influencing factors of the women's in entrepreneurship in India, state actually wise, future employment requirement, they have to project state level employment growth rate has to be improved, and development status has to be finalized, especially related to women, and gender equality context has to be again restructured, and it has to project in a woman oriented way. Government geographic and economic policy priorities and schemes are there, that has to be even rationalized to look into women entrepreneurs. Ministry's geographic policy priorities, also things are there. So lot of such things, and many things actually I can tell, but at a shortage of time, I cannot explain all these things. And just for your reference, if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially for women, these are very, very important. If you like challenges, if you are focused, if you are disciplined,
But it's
all these things actually you do. Okay.
sir,
Similarly,
as a panel discussion session is
yes,
going to start and the speakers
yes.
are waiting,
Next, actually,
I would
finally,
like to
this one I
request
want to
you.
say a final remark. Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. So this is very important. And the thing women have yet to learn is nobody gives you power, you just take it. This is the thing what I am at the beginning also I told, now also I am telling. So I think I create, I take risks, I live my passion, I am an entrepreneur. If you tell like that, definitely a woman can become a successful entrepreneur. Acknowledgement, all the things actually here, what and all I told, it is a few are my opinions, and all others are actually available in net and other things. I am grateful to them. And thank you. Be a strong woman. So your daughter will have a role model, and your son will know what to look for in a woman when he is a man. This is actually very, very important for all the women entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, it was really, really a wonderful session. The reason being we didn't only talk about the things that need to be focused on, but we talked about facts, right? So facts always give us better insight about anything. So it was really a wonderful session. Your every fact was valuable, which could give us a clear picture where the woman entrepreneur stands, right? So very much. Thank you. Your session was really wonderful.